Okay, let's take a look at ES for today. There were a number of possible setups once you got your trend lines right. I had trouble finding my trend lines today with kind of the price action, but we'll take a look at a few of these setups and see what happened with order flow. The day was was very two-sided, so you saw a lot of order flow where it'd move up, it'd move down, strong sellers, strong buyers, and just kind of all over the place. So that made it difficult. And we'll take a look at some of these key areas and see what happened. The first setup we'll talk about is this one here that says interesting setup. Okay, so basically what's happened in the ES is that we've had this a run up in the late market yesterday, last night, a bit of some spiky behavior pre-market, and now just right as the open happened, we have this move down, and what we're looking at is we're looking at a setup here, and we're looking to see if we have another failure. This is tough. This looks like it could be a failed second entry short. I'm sorry, a failed second entry long, which would be a short trade, and I'm just going to pause right here, and we're just going to take a look at what's happening here. You can see that we've got some strong sellers coming in here. Again, we've got some block trades that are happening really big. We had a close on the low. So given the kind of the price action, which is a kind of a failed second entry long, placing a sell stop order might be a reasonable proposition here. And so if we watch, we can see, the move down here. This looks great. And what we're looking for is we're looking for follow through, either in the order book or big sellers coming in. We've got some buyers coming in here. We still have some pretty good selling going on. If you look in the column where bids are hitting, big bids are coming through. So it looks like we also have some follow through. As of right now, especially seeing the bids getting pulled, you're seeing the bid getting hit pretty heavily. This thing could run down to that support line that I have down there. More big block sellers coming in. Probably some guys either trying to pause the market too on the buy side, or maybe even some taking profit. Big sellers coming in here. Big move down. Almost could be an exhaustion move right there. So maybe a good time to kind of move to break even, take something out. And you see all the weakness on the bid side in the book. You see a little bit of weakness starting on the offer side. Actually, it just pushed right through that. Still more weakness on the bid side. More big sellers coming in. And you see the order book firming up on the bid side. They're starting to add orders. They're starting to absorb a lot of that selling. So it looks like we might have a pause here. And if we finish up with the rest of the of the screen and take a look, it did actually pause here. This must have been a key support area, and we've got a bit of a move to break even. See if we get a runner at this point. If not, then price may come back and tap our break even. Okay, this next trade to look at is the II complex second entry short after the first trend line break. So what this is you had this move down, you had a steeper trend line, and it was broken, and you had this kind of complex second entry short. You had that big red bar that didn't get triggered. That was a signal bar. Outside down bar didn't get triggered. You had an inside bar, another inside bar, and finally it got triggered. Moved down probably for a scalp trade. You probably got 4 ticks before it reversed. So again, tricky trade right at the EMA. So let's take a look at the price action, or rather the order flow, and see how it looks. So we're looking at the chart right now, right as the trade is about to set up, and you can see just a little bit of weakness on the bid side. Some big players come in on both sides, and you'd be triggered right here if you were using a stop order. You could put in a limit sell here at 42 as well and get in there. So let's say that we're in this trade. We're looking for any signs of weakness, and we already, right off the bat, we've got this sign of weakness. We've got these big long traders coming in. But on the other side, in the book, if you saw, we had some orders being pulled on the bid side and offers strengthening up. I didn't clear out either the strength meter or the book, so that's not going to help us here very much. But what we want to look at is we want to continue to see on the offer side orders, or on the bid side, orders getting pulled and offers getting strengthened. So you can see it's really two-sided behavior right now. Offers or bids being pulled over here, offers being strengthened, but then offers are being pulled up here, and then they get strengthened. So right now it looks like it's a bit of a fight. We still have some larger players coming in on both sides. So I reset the strength meter, and look, we can see a lot of good sell trades coming in. I reset everything. You can see the sells printing. Again, more weakness on the bid side in the book. All the way down, they're pulling orders all the way down. They're stacking offers, still pulling bids. And it looks like this is going to be a favorable trade for us. We need to get down to basically 40.75-ish, 40.75, 40.50 area for 4 ticks. And if it doesn't make it that far, actually, I guess 41.75, so 40.75, 40.50, yeah, right around there. You can see, we've got some more big players coming through. So the trade's looking okay for us. We're a couple ticks in profit. Here we go. We've got 4 ticks there, and now it just ticked through to 40.50. So we've got 4 ticks. And now let's see what happens. And now we have, sorry about that, get that screen out of the way. So now we have some strengthening on the bid side in the book, weakening there, and eventually what's going to happen, this thing's going to turn around, take out our break-even stop on our runner. We had some big players come in. Sorry about the windows popping up everywhere. But again, another interesting example. Keep an eye on the book. You can see you still have weakness in the book, but you have a lot more weakness on the offer side in the book as well. So the books on both sides are actually weak, and so you've got a lot of tentative traders, and now you have all these massive buy orders coming through, and it looks like we're probably gonna have a pop up, which of course eventually we did. Okay, the next setup we're going to look at from this chart is that second entry short after MM, so after a measured move L1 equals L2. The L1, leg 1 was up to that second entry short after first trendline break, and L2 was about up to this point. You'll see on my other charts that I did have a little trouble with my trend lines earlier this morning, trying to fit them in where they needed to be, and right where this doji formed was where I had a trend line, which is why I thought it might be a second entry short setup. And I did enter that on Sim and actually got out at break even because I was watching the order flow. So let's take a look at that one. So looking at the order flow, you can see here on the bid side how weak the book is. You can see, there I take the order, but the bids are pulling orders, and kind of sucks you down. And then all of a sudden, you've got offers that are pulling their orders. And looking over, I had some big players come in, but now I've got on the sell side. But now I've got some big players coming in on the buy side. So, I'm seeing this happen. I'm seeing the order book on the bid side weaken. It pulls you down, and then it strengthens right away. And then of course on the offer side, it's kind of tricky there too. It's right here. This is where you probably want to get out. Look at the offer side; they're just pulling orders like crazy. They've strengthened really quite a bit more on the bid side. They're firming everything up. So at this point, I'm kind of out. Just seeing the behavior where it's kind of going back and forth, strengthening, weakening, and overall it looks like there was a lot more strengthening going on. If you can see all the prints on the sell side, 1,042, 456. Those are some big numbers that were absorbed by the bulls. So at this point I was already out. Here I am typing up kind of the results, but interesting view of using order flow to get out quickly. Okay, the next setup that we're going to look at is this one here that says better 2ES at possible trend line and failed breakout of the swing. And basically what that is it's a better second entry short at a possible trend line and a failed breakout of a recent swing. So you can see I did have quite a bit of trouble with my trend lines today, at least on the down move. The up move was a little bit easier. And this one in particular was a hard trade to take because of that big signal bar. So we're going to look and see the price action around that as well. Now we're right here at the point where the signal bar has just formed, and we're looking for a reason to enter the trade, or at least we're looking to get in the trade. And we are, if we had a sell stop order, we'd be in there now. And I'm going to pause the video here for a second. You can just kind of see what's going on. We had a whole bunch of sell orders come through. You can see the big sell orders there. If you look over in the order book, you'll see we have enormous number of prints that have sold off, and we have a little bit of firming taking place on the bid side, much more firming on the offer side, and a little bit of weakness on the bid side. So that's where we're at. That's what we're seeing right now from an order flow perspective. So let's say that we're in this trade right now. What exactly are we looking for? So to move this trade a little bit further, now we see some firming going on the bid side and some weakness in the offer side. So we're going to be a little bit nervous here. We want to see a little bit better confirmation than this that our trade's going to go well. Now we got it. So we see the flip now to where the bid side weakens quite a bit. You get some big players that come in, and we're looking for them to push this down. And so hopefully, you can see, look at the comparison between the number of bids that are printing versus offers. Just very aggressive selling going on right here, right now. So we're getting close. If we haven't already gotten our 4 ticks, we're already pretty close to getting those 4 ticks. I'm going to speed the video up. I'm going to go double time. I'll pause anything that looks significant, but just so we can kind of see what's happening here. We still see some firming up here on the buy side in the bids, but not a lot of weakness yet on the offer side. A little bit, but not a lot. Now we see the bids weakening a little bit, more firming going on, a little weakness on the offer side happening. We got some big players on both sides still coming in. So not necessarily reason to exit. Certainly a good reason to maybe move to break even. But look, you see the weakness there in the bids. Some big time weakness. It dropped down another couple of ticks. So here I am trying to find where this thing's going to go based on a trend line. I had that trend line right there, which is funny. That eventually held for the rest of the day, but I removed it because I thought, no, that's too shallow of a trend line. And sure enough, it worked out. So we can see here order flow helping us confirming the trade. Right now we're seeing we saw a little bit of weakness just now on the offer side. And really two-sided trading. We see, a bunch of bids coming through, a bunch of aggressive selling and then some aggressive buying and aggressive selling. But mostly as you look at this sell side column, just enormous amount of market sells that are happening, aggressive selling that's happening. Couple that with a, weakening on the bid side of the order book, and you've got a good move down. It looks really good. This last trade to look at was really quite a difficult trade to take. I actually didn't take this one. I saw it afterwards, or a little bit later. But if you look at this from a price action perspective, what you're seeing is you're seeing really a failed second entry short, a complex second entry long, and a breakout pullback long above the EMA after you get some overlap. So there's a lot of interesting things that kind of coincide from a price action perspective, but because of all the two-sided trading, it was just really hard to spot. And you take away these trend lines and you take away what you see to the right of these bars, which is that trend that goes up, and it looks like you're in overlap. It looks like you're in chop. You don't know whether you're in a range going back down or what. So for that reason, this one was really difficult to take and to see and spot. So I wanted to take a look at the order flow and see if the order flow showed me anything at all. So we're seeing this trade right here about to set up, and kind of what I'm looking at from an order flow perspective here is seeing a lot of weakness on the bid side, and you can see how firm the offers were firming up there, and now you see a whole bunch of big guys coming in, and then you saw a little bit of firming on the bid side, a little bit of weakness on the offer side. But you see that 405 print, 300 print, 102, 114. So that's kind of pushing the price up here. And let's just say that we had gotten in here normal price action entry. We'd probably get in here about 43.50ish, kind of where some of these other big guys are coming in. And you can see, it doesn't immediately take off. We've got quite a bit of good buying pressure. You can see the bids are firmed up on the inside price, but one level down, and look, they're pulling their bids. And you see, I don't know what that represents. I haven't been with order flow long enough to know, but it seems like that's, where the bidders are a little bit tentative, so they want to look for more strength, look for something, something to happen. Here they're pulling at the inside price. They're strengthening one level below. It could be the big guys messing with the order book and kind of playing games, get prices down, get better prices. So if you're in this trade, you're down a tick, up a tick, even. It's just kind of all over the place. Definitely two-sided trading. I think for me, I'd be very tempted to get out at break even and just kind of let this one go, see what happens later, especially when I see all these red prints come in on the, with these big traders. On the other hand, you can look at it and look and see them actually being absorbed. And you look at that price, 43, 2,085 prints there on the offer side. That's a lot of aggressive buying right there. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit, and I'll pause anything that looks interesting. But again, you're probably a little nervous here if you're in this trade, maybe out at break even. A little nervous that we're going to go down for another deeper leg or reverse. And there's really nothing. You just kind of have to be patient if you're going to stay in this. So here we go. We get a few more big player prints, but we have the offer book, the offer side rising. You see a lot more weakness now on the offer side. I apologize. I mix these up all the time. You see the bid side rising. You can see on the offer side starting to pull lots and lots of orders. All these orders are getting pulled. That's a good sign. Firming up on the bid side, now weakness on the bid side. It's just all over the place. Very indicative of two-sided trading, which makes sense because when you look at the price action, you see the two-sided trading in the chart. You see the overlap that's happened. So we're working ourselves through overlap here, and now we've got some commitment. You haven't quite hit your 4 ticks, but you're pretty close, probably feeling pretty good, especially seeing some of these big guys come in. So really, at this point too, you're a little nervous because you hit the top of that range, so you really need to see a break out of that range. And seeing all of these bids get pulled here is a little bit nerve-wracking. But if they get pulled and the price doesn't go down and the sellers can't push the price down, then that's also good. A little bit more firming up. And you see all the offers getting pulled again. So, probably good time to maybe move to break even or a little bit below. You're up. You got 4 ticks now. You may not have gotten out. There you go. You got filled on that one. So difficult trade, very tough to spot given the price action. You had to work yourself through two-sided trading and be quite patient to make it work. But the order flow could have probably caused me to want to exit early at times. If you're patient though and you wait it out, then you start seeing the effects of the order flow and how it can help you.